调查公共休息室。
It looks like it's holding up, despite the storm.
冻死了，太凉了。
I don't think it's cold enough for fuel to freeze, but maybe someone should store it inside, just in case. No one here? It's not that late. I'd have thought Demoiselle Lenny would still be up.
I believe that old people retire early, don't they?
A photo of Leon on a ship. Must have been taken during his return from Baltayar. But I still can't figure out how he survived the winter while he was on the run over there. Lenny also had that newspaper clipping about Leon. Looks like the old girls built a veritable shrine to him. Demoiselle Lenny had tea with someone. Maybe with that alpinist guy. Another one of those cigars.
这个烟蒂到底是谁的？我们已经多次看见它了，这应该是第3次了。
There's something truly odd going on with Demoiselle Lenny. I really ought to have a little chat with her. But before, the bodies. They're all that count right now. Look, Oscar! A distant cousin!
What are you talking about, Kate Walker? And why are you laughing?
这是什么？
Too small for a door.
这是一把钥匙。
I was hoping to find Demoiselle Lenny here. No time to explore the refuge again. I need to find the frozen bodies.
啊，现在就去吗？那也太凉了吧！太猛了。
Lenny's left her lookout post. Hardly surprising with this blizzard. Darn it, of course I need a coin again.
什么都看不见。哎，这有个人。
What's this?
Oh, it's the frozen bodies from the Devil's Pass. The forensic team had to bring them up here because of the blizzard. But their generator shut off. I'm concerned it could damage the bodies.
Where's Demoiselle Lenny?
Oh, in her room, resting. She collapsed right after the forensic team left for Wagen.
Jeez, what happened?
I'm pretty sure it has to do with the bodies. I mean, she was staring down in that direction for, well, all the time. And then, when they brought them up from the Devil's Pass, it was like she had seen a ghost or something. It was almost as if...
As if she knew the departed.
What?
Is someone taking care of her?
Oh yes, don't worry. She's with that hermit who brings her wood and provisions sometimes.
Okay, in that case, you go back inside. I'll take care of the generator.
Are you sure?
Positive, just go. Go on. I need to check something in the tent anyway. The gas tank's empty. I better find some fuel so I can turn on the generator.
Didn't you come across a jerry can earlier? Better go check it out.
Yes! Thanks, Oscar!
楼梯下面就有一个油桶，这个钥匙是我们刚捡到那个。
Wrong one.
哎，不是这个。
Nothing. Speak to me, Oscar.
This button must have turned on the generator, Kate Walker. But you still need to use the starter.
Okay. Thanks, Oscar. Dry biscuits. Wonder how long they've been there.
哎，这个饼干盒应该是里昂的吧？当初给那葛兰那个饼干，好像是，不知道记没记错。
Must be to crank up the generator.
我们去拿点油。哎，有人看我。不知道谁看我。
Must have forgotten something.
是不是这个开关啊？
Forensics Institute of Vaughan.
哎，是不是葛兰一族救了里昂？突然想起来这个事儿。验尸报告：里昂·科巴蒂斯，白人，30岁左右，金发，尸体在冰层中被困了几十年后，处于一种保存良好的状态，可能死于40年代中期的雪崩。一切都表明这是登山家以及抵抗战士里昂·科巴斯蒂的尸体。据报道，他在一次谨慎的人员转移行动中失踪，他的身份将会通过进一步分析和视觉辨识来确认。分析的和识别将预期很快进行。
Leon. It's as if he died yesterday. Like in those stories where people are found perfectly preserved in ice for decades after being carried away by an avalanche.
这是他吗？
Hard to believe he's been dead for over 60 years. That's quite amazing. And grim at the same time.
好像还真是啊，他这下巴这有一个疤，看这我鼠标指着这儿，好像还真是。
An unidentified blonde woman in her 40s.
金发
That
女人，
can't be Dana.
白人女性，金发碧眼，年龄在40岁至50岁之间。由于缺乏证据，她的身份无法确定。然而，介于在冰层中发现的另外2具尸体的推定身份，有充分的理由相信此人参与了抵抗行动。该行动小队可能在20世纪40年代中期被雪崩掩埋。但是这个拉链好像打不开，是没有可以拉的地方。
That's not Dana in this body bag.
白人棕发，大约50岁，有充分的理由相信这是哈罗德·埃克斯纳的尸体。埃克斯纳在一次抵抗行动中由里昂·科巴蒂斯其遗体也被认为是冰冻尸体之一进行转移。该行动小队可能在24世纪40年代中期被雪崩掩埋。找不到拉链呢。
That's it, Oscar. Dana's body is not among those found with Leon's. What a relief.
Now that that's cleared up, Kate Walker, maybe we should take shelter within somewhat more solid premises.
Right. We should go and check on Demoiselle Lenny in the refuge. I have a lot of new questions for her.
哎，这还有。
Looks like the rescuers left in a hurry after they moved the bodies here. Must have been surprised by the blizzard.
Well done with the generator.
Hello? Sir?
Are you sure you want to follow that individual, Kate Walker?
I don't think he looked threatening. Rather the opposite, Oscar. Sir? Are you there?
"哇，吓死了！
What have we got here?
这不就是葛兰吗？葛兰和里昂吗？这不是？哎，这个不知道。刚才那幅图案好像是葛兰和里昂，而且那个葛兰小时候很爱画画。
This portrait, it looks like Leon.
哎呦，果然是他。
Style reminds me of that other portrait of him that he described in his letter from Baltayar.
这一回头吓一跳。
The one made by the...
Dana.
The Go Rune.
葛兰的话，
No, not Dana. She's old like me.
I'm Kate. Kate Walker.
Kate Walker.
Yes. And you're the one that Leon saved during the Origin expedition a long time ago, aren't you?
Yes.
The Goran from Baltayar. Well, you've come a long way, Mr.
Ludwig. Ludwig Hardtack.
Well, Mr. Ludwig, if you don't mind my asking, what happened when you and Leon returned to Ostertal to join the Resistance fighters? And how did you meet Dana?
我是真没想到是他抽的烟，我天哪！
Leon. My brother.
These drawings, they're moments from your life, aren't they? Looks like a river. And that little figure looks wounded. Is that you when you met Leon and the scientist from the Origin expedition?
Yes.
That person in the middle of the others was in the other paintings. That's Leon, isn't it?
Yes. Leon.
That group. Is it your tribe, Mr. Ludwig?
Yeah.
So you all live together in a cave in Baltayar? Right. So you and your tribe took Leon in after the death of Reinhard Berger in 1937. That's how he was able to survive the winter in the mountains. Then you went with Leon when he decided to return to Vaughan to join the resistance fighters?
Mm-hmm.
Had Dana already joined the resistance operation by that time? I mean, by the time shown in the drawing.
No. Later.
The blonde girl with you and Leon can't be Lenny, right?
Yes. Lenny, my sister.
I knew Lenny was a resistance fighter, but she never told me she fought alongside Leon, let alone you. She even went as far as saying that she never saw Leon again after 1937, when they all met at the refuge with Dana. Why would she hide something so important?
Time to check on Lenny. Come, Kate Walker.
其实还有很多对话没有选到。
The sketchbook. I think it was Leon's.
这就是那个赞助者吧，可能是。这是小葛兰。秘密返回瓦根。调查葛兰的房间啊，我们全部走。
Detonating wire, just like in the old movies. Weapons. Must have been here since the war, I guess.
你见过这个恐怖分子吗？1万马克，悬赏捕获人犯路德维希·哈德塔克，无论死活。此人被称为山间杀人犯，因谋杀被通缉，无论死活。他是瓦根遇到过最坏的流氓团伙中的一员。
These must be plans for secret operations. Must have been some kind of a headquarters here. Maybe for local resistance fighters such as Leon and his group. This symbol looks like a warning. Some kind of map. Looks like the Devil Pass to me. Could all those marks indicate where the Gorons searched for Leon's body? So much happened to the Gorun since Leon found him in Baltayar. What a life he had. But there are still so many gray areas. I need to learn more from Demoiselle Lenny now.
Ah, Fräulein. I knew you would be back eventually. Judging by your face, you and Ludwig already met.
We have. And it raised a lot of questions about you. About what you said to me the first time we met, and about what you didn't say.
Of course. You can run from your past, but never truly escape it. But you already know that. Don't you, Fräulein?
I want to understand Demoiselle Lenny. I'd like to understand why you didn't tell me about Leon's death, about fighting with him in the Resistance, and about the Gore, and about Mr. Ludwig. It would have saved us both so much time and effort.
Because it would have only begged questions. Questions which lead to events that I've never spoken about to anyone. Not even to you, dear Ludwig.
Lenny.
Still, I suppose it doesn't matter now. Perhaps it's time I confess my crime.
What are you talking about?
It was the best years of my life. Joining the Resistance, unlike my coward of a father, and fighting alongside Leon after he miraculously got back from Baltayar with Ludwig. It gave me purpose.
开始回忆啊。
Leon was a terrific leader. I could feel he was finally taking me seriously, especially with Dana being missing. I knew he was still in love. After all, didn't he cross the globe to rescue her? But we all thought he arrived too late, that Dana had died with her parents during the pogroms. So I believed his mourning would eventually come to an end. And that's when Dana fell from the sky, literally.
Dana was sent by London, right? To oversee that operation led by your resistance network? The exfiltration of a civilian to Switzerland, if I recall correctly.
Indeed. But Leon never told us that Dana was involved. Maybe he was afraid to believe it himself.
哇，神仙相遇。You should have seen them, Fräulein. It was as if they had never left each other.
Do you know if Dana ever mentioned a child?
Maybe they were planning to have one in Baltaya, who knows?
In Baltayar?
Yes, that's all they ever talked about. How they were going to live over there after the war, along with Ludwig and his tribe. But it was to be just another broken dream.
Right. I should call London now. My radio's downstairs. Herr Gustav housed me here when I worked at the refuge. I have so many fond memories with Leon here. When I left for London with Junta, I never thought I'd see the place again, let alone be here again with Leon. One of Leon's paintings. He did one of me posing on the terrace that summer when we met. He even gave me the painting so I would think of him when he was in Baltaya. I expect it got destroyed by the Brown Shadow when they pillaged Papa's gallery.
这瀑布是我当初选的。
Leon's drawing book. I recognize the mountains of Vagen in these drawings. Leon must have drawn them during his expeditions in the region. These drawings date from the summer we met, when I worked here. These landscapes don't look like they're from the Vagan region. Leon must have done these drawings when he was in Baltayar with the Origin expedition. This is a drawing of the Gorons.
这是彩票吗？
The Goron's lair. Lenny's old room. I should stay away.
应该下还是上？ 刚才好像给了一个箱子的镜头。
Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized. Pity... May I? Lenny and the Goron seem close. It's nice that she's found a friend. Not that Herr Gustav lacked affection for her, but she spent too much time alone in that refuge. True brothers and sisters in arms. You can sense that the three of them stand together as one. The Goron described Leon as his brother. They must have shared lots of adventures together since Leon saved him from the clutches of Herberger. Your drawings are beautiful.
For you, Daneros.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludwig. It's almost as if you were there with us that night.
Leon told me.
Did he speak about me?
All the time.
I should go now. Talk to you later, Mr. Ludwig. Oh, it looks like Leon and me in this drawing. The Goron must have drawn it from Leon's accounts of us.
Looks
like the Goron must be a nightmare for the Brown Shadow. He must be the super resistant I heard so much about in London. If this propaganda against the resistance fighters is anything to go by, the Brown Shadow must be pretty desperate. Harold Exner. A scientist with vital information for the war effort, according to the Foreign Office. His cover has recently been blown, which has led to this operation. Better not say anything during the briefing, but apparently, Exner has a reputation for being rather hot-headed. The refuge. The place where it all began between me and Leon. We'll need to cross Devil's Pass with the package in order to reach Switzerland. They say it's not the most daunting pass, but still, you need to be escorted by a professional alpinist. Switzerland. The package will be safe over there. The refuge. It'll be the departure point for our expedition into Switzerland tomorrow. Shouldn't think the Brown Shadow appreciate Leon and his group throwing their own grenades at them. An arms stash. Since the departure of Herr Gustav, resistance fighters have been using this place as an outpost. The Allies are unable to send enough supplies to the Resistance fighters for them to completely let go of their good old-fashioned methods.
这是电台吗？是。行，但是不能用。我们要使用电台前和同伴说话。这里有一个，选不了。
Why did Herr Gustav leave the refuge? Did the brown shadow force him?
同伴是在楼上啊，还是在外面？去看看。
Have you called London yet?
Lenny!
What do you want?
It's amazing how you've grown. How have you been since last time?
Fine, I guess.
I found out that the refuge was closed down by the Brown Shadow a few years ago. Turns out your network did the best of it. But what about Herr Gustav? Is he...
Dead? No, he's not dead. Although, for me, he might just as well be.
It's quite incredible when I think of you and Leon fighting alongside someone who comes from so far away.
Yeah. After Leon saved him during the expedition in Baltayar, Mr. Ludwig's tribe took him in during the winter months. They became inseparable, like brothers. So much so that Mr. Ludwig insisted on coming back here with Leon. Now he's our most ferocious fighter, the terror of the Brown Shadow.
See you later, Lenny. Best not go too far. Best not go too far. Is everything all right, Herr Exner? You seem a little upset. If it's about your exfiltration tomorrow, I can assure you there's nothing to be worried about. Leon is the best for...
I couldn't care less about tomorrow.
So what is it then?
It's my wife, Andrea. It's like I said to your goons there. I can't leave without her.
Your wife? I'm sorry, Herr Exner, but we have no orders regarding...
I don't care about your orders. I'm not leaving without Andrea. Do you hear me? I won't. You think I'm a bastard, don't you? A selfish bastard ready to risk people's lives to recover the woman he loves. That's what you all think, isn't it?
No, I think you're afraid, that's all. Afraid for you and the woman you love. And fear doesn't usually bring out the best in people.
I take full responsibility for my actions, and I expect no pity in return. But would a little understanding be too much to ask? I mean, what would you do in my shoes? What would you do if they asked you to abandon that alpinist you seem to be so fond of for the common good, eh? Because that's what you're asking me to do with Andrea.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I suppose if I were in your shoes, I would pull out all the stops to protect those who are dear to me.
I see. Thank you, Fraulein.
Well, everyone seems all right, more or less. I should get back to the radio now.
走，设置电台去。
Empty.
请按照以下程序联系您的联络官。要获取安全频率，请破译下方联系代码。请参见附件。这是密码吗？在设备的接收器设置获得安全频率，然后您的联络官将发送一个新的传送频率到您的接收器，需要您来破译。在设备的发送器设为新的传送频率，使用设备的听筒联系联络官。为使用电台发送信息，请使用下面的对应表。信函收件人将按照联系代码确定的频率接收电码。这是 miss。一份可以在拉丁字母和莫尔斯电码之间建立对应关系的文件。又是解谜了。
This part of the radio is used to receive messages. This part of the radio is used to receive messages. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
调到多少合适啊？2111，在设备的接收器设置。 完蛋了，这到我知识盲区了。2111 B 2111应该是 B， 对对对，然后是12点横，点是1，横是2 ，BA， 然后是121点横点R BAR 21横点在哪 BARN BARN 69。对，先看一眼，在上面一下。2是横线，1是点儿。在设备的接收器设置，接收端调成69。哎，哪个是接收端？这是。
There must be something I can use as an antenna somewhere in this refuge. There must be something I can use as an antenna somewhere in this refuge. There must be something I can use as an antenna somewhere in this refuge.
哦，还得学会天线啊！我先弄到6000把接收。这是接
This
收。
part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
上面是接收。调到69。先去找个天线。
Leon talks about you all the time.
Judging by these installations, Leon's network seems particularly well organized.
我们去阁楼看一眼吧。
Personal effects in a heap. Can't be a good sign. Leon's men must have settled down in the dormitories. Yunta's stash. I doubt I'll find anything of use there to amplify the radio signal. Herr Gustav's old radio. I remember we spent many an evening listening to serials when I worked here that summer.
This antenna looks like one of Herr Gustav's inventions.
Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. There must be something else I can plug into it. Once this antenna is connected, there must be a way to open it. So Yunta never did come back to retrieve it? Not surprising, really, I suppose, given the fact that World War broke out. What a mess. Herr Gustav must have turned Yunta's dark room into a storeroom after she left.
把电线插上。
That should boost the signal. Perfect.
It doesn't work.
"我去，雷达！"
The signal is strong enough to reach London now. I need to adjust the frequency settings properly to contact London. This part of the radio is used to transmit messages.
"短长短短。" 我还没记住，我得拿支笔。短长短，短长长短。短长长短短短长。短长。点儿横横点儿应该是点儿横横点儿 P 开头的，然后一个短长 PA。看看有没有 PA 开头的 PE。 哦，对，就是 PE。刚才有一短嘛，看一眼确定一下。红的就重置了，从开始了就短长 短，短长长短，短长长短，短，短长，长短长，长短长。最后一个是长短长，长短长是 K P E 什么 K P E A K A 是短长，对 P A K P A K 是 P E A K 84 OK。漂亮。
London, come in. London, do you read me? Over. We've made contact. Package safe and sound. I repeat, we've made contact. Package...
Out of the question! I'm not moving from here without her!
London, please wait a moment. Over. What's going on?
You! Tell London I'm not leaving without my wife.
Herr X, now listen,
No, you listen. Andrea is my closest collaborator. With regard to the Allied war effort, she is just as important as me. She is in Wagen as I speak, hiding at some friend's place under a false identity. You must bring her here and smuggle her into Switzerland with me.
There's no way we're going back to Wagen. Brown Shadow troops have overrun the entire town. We can't risk delaying our departure.
A storm coming. Danger.
I'm not moving from here without her.
London, did you hear that? Roger that. Over and out. They say we can't allow Frau Exner to be captured and risk her letting the cat out of the bag.
What are you waiting for then? Send someone to fetch her.
Hang on. You're not asking me to...
Sorry, Lenny, we haven't got a choice. Ludwig can't go about in public in Wagen, and I have to prepare everything to get them through Devil's Pass tomorrow. You're the only one I trust enough to...
Why can't she go?
我该选择什么呢？
Lenny's right. I'm not known to the Brown Shadow. I can sneak into Wagen incognito this evening and be back in time for...
Out of the question. That's not your mission here. And besides, it's too dangerous.
Leon!
All right, then. I'll go.
Lenny, wait!
哇，伤死了。
Leon's reaction and his unconditional love for Dana drove me mad with rage. So I decided to take my revenge by making a detour. It was a detour I would regret for the rest of my life. What did you do?
哦，他告密去了，
I
我
made a deal
去
with，the devil.
这是合影会，完蛋了。哎，这是他爸爸，发现没有？这是酒馆老板他爸爸，我操，他爸爸叛变了。
No one was supposed to have gotten hurt, I promise. I promise, Fräulein. I just didn't want Leon to leave me forever. To leave with her. But it was a fool's bargain, as I should have known from the beginning.
We must leave immediately, before the mountain becomes impassable!
Go through the pass in this weather? Are you mad?
We have no choice, Lenny! It's that or fall into the hands of the Brown Shadow! And we both know what that means! We ought to stay, to buy Leon as much time as we can!
Leon,
She's right, Lenny! Now go! Go! Come! Yana!
No, don't make this harder than it is!
Yana!
I love you, Leon.
I love you too, Dana, more than anything in the world. Come on, let's go!
Ironic, isn't it? But the worst was yet to come. Who knows how long we fought? Enough for Leon to lead the civilians to the foot of Devil's Path.
我去，还是他猛，太厉害。受伤了吗？我去，毫发未损吗？可是发生雪崩了是吧？对，里昂死了。哇，太可惜了。嫉妒心太强，果然是魔鬼啊！
Ludwig has been searching for Leon's remains since then. But it took the thaw due to global warming to uncover the bodies. And with them, my crime. precisely when you decided to show up, Fräulein.
Lenny.
Dear Ludwig, can you ever...
Mr. Ludwig, please.
Don't, Fräulein. I deserve this. Let's get this over with, Fräulein. Let me tell you about the last time I ever saw Dana, and then I'll be done.
Okay, I'm listening.
It was a year after Leon died, just after the liberation of Wagen.